but this was something that was going around last week, and then it picked up a little bit of steam, but it was going around last week and it was smaller, so I didn't put it in the newscast. But then a few other people were kind of like, yeah, I've kind of heard some rumblings. I'd say this is about C+ tier rumor, but again, talking about returning franchises, there's been rumors going around that Marvel Studios, Feige, that team has been talking about Whedon possibly coming back to the MCU to direct and possibly directing the Fantastic Four. One, do you think that is something you're interested in, him tackling that? And two, what do you think the likelihood of that is? Because he hasn't directed anything in quite a while. Remember, he was attached to Batgirl, but then he dropped out of that because he couldn't crack the story, which I think is the biggest bullshit thing.
Did he do the Avengers, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, Avengers 1 and 2.
The original. Yeah, so
yeah.
I'm pretty down for that, not gonna lie. I
Mhm.
feel like the Fantastic Four movie could be something similar to Avengers. It's not quite to that scale, but you do have, a team coming together, assembling. So I feel like it has fairly similar themes to what the Avengers had. I don't know, and I really love that movie, and I liked his directing style there. So I would be totally down for it. And I don't know, it's cool to have like a returning MCU director that you've seen his work before. You kind of, I don't know, I don't know what the best word to say it is, but he has a decent track record, and I feel like I would trust that. Yeah.
Buffy, Serenity. He has like a bunch of
Oh,
other
really? He
stuff.
did Buffy?
That's his show. He was a showrunner. Firefly, he was a showrunner. He's been around the block.
Wasn't he one of the cooks in the kitchen on a DC movie as well? Like he was pulled in at the last minute or something?
Justice League.
Justice League.
Which
So
the
that's
Snyder
fine.
Cut people will never let him forget because, apparently he destroyed the movie even though he's just trying to help out. But he did. And he was supposed to do Batgirl, but I think they kind of had a sour relationship after that and he dropped away. And he's been appearing a bit more because I remember he was for, I think, the Infinity War Blu-ray for a while because him and Marvel had a falling out and he wasn't doing much stuff. But then he started back like appearing at premieres, and then they did this Infinity War directors roundtable of all these MCU directors, and apparently he was on the special feature. So it seems like he's been getting more integrated back with them. So it's definitely a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost don't think it, like, obviously it matters who the director is. I don't think it matters that much, though. Like, I feel like for the first time we see the X-Men, the first time we see the Fantastic Four in the MCU, I feel like so much of that is going to, like, there's not going to be tons of creative freedom on the director there. It's going to be, this is the movie you need to make, and then they're going to try and find the guy who's going to make that movie for them. And so I honestly, I think it's like a safe pick. Like, he's done it before. He's done team-ups.
Yeah.
He knows how to make. Now, obviously, MCU movies have that certain look to them, have that certain je ne sais quoi, and he knows how to capture that. So
he almost created it with Avengers. Like they follow that template now of those team ups. Like it's changed over the time, but for the first little bit, it felt like, oh, this is after Avengers.
They had to land it with Avengers. Look at Justice League. It didn't land with the team up, and now they're not doing team ups anymore. Yeah. So it's hugely important. But yeah, I just don't know how much, like, individually it's going to matter so much for the director there. Obviously it'll have a say, of course, but yeah, I don't know. I think that's a fine pick. We still don't really know much about what their idea for these characters are, really, so it's hard to say like what style we want to see as fans.
Yeah, I was trying to pull up. Taylor made this wicked profile picture for this topic, and it was he must have been on some drugs. I think I can pull it up. Like, it was crazy. Oh, I don't know if I can.
He was drinking whiskey again, was he?
Oh, no, I don't think. I maybe will later. There comes Deadpool again.
There's
but
Deadpool.
So, yeah,
I like the Geek logo in pink.
I like that.
It's pretty cool, right?
Definitely breast cancer awareness. We should use that logo.
Or Bullying Day. And
for sure.
Yeah, so for me, I like, if you put a gun to my head and you say we need to get a good Fantastic Four movie, I'm down, because we've had so many bad ones, right? We've had the unreleased one, and we will be doing a retro, and I will update people on that, because the retro I'm waiting to see, because Nolan and Warner Brothers said they came out and they were like, oh, we're not delaying Tenet, which I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to wait a few more weeks. If they don't, then we are going to do the Nolan one like we promised, even if it's over the remote casting. If they delay it, then we'll get into the ones we talked about. The Batman Arkham one we're still doing no matter what, but the Fantastic Four one might wait, but we will probably do, because it's going on for a while, but we're just waiting. But Nolan he wants us to see his movies. You can't you got to see it in the cinema, everything like that. He's not going to VOD.
He's a master of time manipulation, so maybe I don't know what he did, but maybe he went into the future and made a finished film, and he's going to go back in time and drop it in July. Who knows?
Oh
Came
yeah,
out in
If anyone can
2018.
do it, he can.
we're all gonna be there in our suits watching everything like this. Okay, yeah, here we go. Look at this. This is what Taylor made.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, on every member of the Fantastic Four.
That's
So
like
yeah,
first edition Fantastic Four cover. I like
yeah.
that.
Here I can leave that. Oh, I can't even see anything.
I like
there,
it with
so.
the thing. He kind of looks cool with like the hexagons. It's kind of cool.
So yeah, if just to get a good movie, I'm down for Joss Whedon to do it. The only thing where I push back as far as the director being important, I feel that what we talk about with Whedon, they have this template. You want the characters to go there, want the story to go there, but there's always, like you said, the Genesis Quad Dylan of like a director. I feel like James Gunn, what he did with Guardians, felt like, okay, it was a Marvel movie, but he took his sensibilities and did that. I think the same thing, Ryan Coogler and Black Panther. So I think that's the way I kind of want it, is I want somebody new just to be that new. Like, I feel like Avengers happened and it was, oh, Avengers the big dog. And then when Guardians happened, it was like you saw a shift of MCU getting a bit more comedic. And then I feel with, I don't know if we've got that shift necessary because we haven't seen these other films, but with Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, we got these films that were on this grand, huge, epic scales of like big consequences happening. So there's always been like a certain movie that changes the tide, and I kind of want that with Fantastic Four. I want like a weird, it wouldn't happen, but I want like Jordan Peele to come in and be like, I'm directing Fantastic Four, and not make it completely batshit crazy, but anybody that has a really good take. So that's the thing where I'm down. I'm not gonna poo-poo the idea. I would want him to do something else, maybe like, I think if we've heard these rumors of Captain Marvel 2 being the crossover, it'd be great if he did that. Then again, I don't know if they want him doing Avengers again. They might want to change up someone new, but I think someone like that, I don't know, maybe when these sequels that are established, for a while, have always been pitching Payne Reed, who's done the Ant-Man movies. That's still my pick, but I'd still want, because I think those movies are Fantastic Four movies the way I would like to see them, but I think there's other people out there you could get, but I do think with this one, Whedon is a possibility, because I think they just want to get for sure at least not a home run, but at least a run, right? In sports terms, they want to make sure that people walk away and they're like, I liked that Fantastic Four movie, because with the other ones, they are either mediocre to that was a very bad movie. So I think they just want to suffer for even like Thor better than Thor Dark World. I think they'll even go for that. They just want something that the people will like. They'll cast it well. I trust MCU that way. They've casted all their actors really well. So like Dylan said, the plans will pretty much be laid out for them. I just would want something a little bit different, but maybe they just want to play it safe for F4, right? So
yeah. I think you make a good point of there being these kind of landmark moments in the MCU that changed things. I kind of feel like that's more the role of what X-Men will be, though.
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
Yeah, just because one, like the implications, right? Like that's going to change the whole scope. Like,
everything.
Now mutants in this world, but then also that's just so many characters, and those are very grounded heroes as well. That are, you have to imagine. I can't imagine a world where they're not interacting with, like, where the X-Men and the Avengers aren't interacting when there's some other, big world-ending threat in the world. Like, you have to imagine they'd be working together on that. Whereas Fantastic Four, I feel like they could fit into what we already have in terms of structure. Whereas
Easily,
X-Men, I don't know if that's necessarily the same, but I think, and even too, like, just, I don't know, introducing 4 new characters. Obviously, there'll be a villain, other stuff as well. I think that's a bit easier than like X-Men. It's going to have tons and tons of characters, or like there always is this fear in the back of my mind with Eternals, right? Like, man, that's gonna be really hard to make all these characters feel important, or like as important as Gamora, as, I don't know, Ant-Man, any of these characters that we've grown attached to over time. So
it's a roster of like 10 characters to start.
So many.
I'm not worried in the sense of I don't know much about it. I just still haven't really been sold on it. The stuff they've been talking, I like the cast, and I gotta go back and watch some of this director's work because I haven't seen much. I've just seen people say, "Oh, she's made some really good."
It's going to be like really hard to edit that into like a really stellar movie.
Yeah, so I that's the biggest one I have the most question mark on, as far as you need to sell me. And we've always said this, right? One trailer takes, and maybe we're like, okay, that looks good. But Kirklin, anything else to add on this?
Nope. I pretty much said what I wanted.